All right, ladies and gents, I think we are just about ready to get tonight's stream rolling here. My microphone was in the way of the button. I couldn't see the button to turn on the microphone, but we are here. We are back with another stream. Welcome, welcome, everybody. And in today's stream, we are going to be talking about Dragons Rising Season 3, Part 1, more specifically, because all of those episodes have just dropped yesterday as of the time of streaming, so this stream will be a spoiler talk stream. There is your warning. This stream will have spoilers in it. It is a spoiler stream, therefore spoilers will be on this stream. I will say though, just a reminder, after this stream, spoilers will not be allowed in the live stream chat until May 1st. May 1st is going to be the official spoiler ban lifting day, so keep that in mind. But as of right now, spoil what you want in the chat. It's a spoiler stream. We can talk about whatever. And also, really quick, for the normal streaming schedule, there it is with trivia every Thursday, except yesterday, because yesterday was release day, so there was no trivia. But since it is a spoiler stream, let's get some spoiler pictures here. I just have pictures from the finale ready to go. Figured we could let those play as stream continues. So how are you guys doing? How did you like Dragons Rising Season 3? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you mixed on it? Did you absolutely hate it? Or do you think it's the best thing since sliced bread? A lot of people seem to think that. My thoughts on it, just super quick. I thought it was pretty good, pretty solid. It's definitely up there for Dragons Rising, I'd say, but I think I still like Season 2 Part 1 more. That is still my favorite Dragons Rising thing so far. But this one was pretty good, I must say. Let's see. As I take a sip of my beverage here, then I will read some reactions. Got a Baja Blast. Get Baja Blasted. Let's see. It was peak. Best Dragons Rising season yet. Liked this season. Zark is a fool. I did see the Zark hate. A lot of people are hating on Zark. I can see why. I can see why. Zark is a fraud. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of those tweets floating around. I get it, Zark didn't really do much of anything, and when he did, he kind of failed, so I get why people don't really care for Zark. Luckily, my boy Drix was kind of killing it all season, so Drix is still my favorite Forbidden 5 member. Love me some Drix. He's just the coolest. That guy is most definitely bugs. I don't know why Doc Wyatt said Drix was the weakest. Yeah, I mean, Drix did a lot more than Zark. I'll tell you that much. Drix did cook, absolutely. Drix and Kerr didn't get a lot of screen time. Oh, speaking of Kerr, Kerr's a woman. What? What are we talking about, Doc Wyatt? Kerr's male? What's going on? Why are we so flip-floppy on Kerr's gender? That came as kind of a surprise. I was like, okay, Kerr's voice sounds a little feminine. Oh, she's actually female. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, because we were kind of flip-floppy on what, gender she was. I mean, the magazine said she was female. Doc Wyatt said that Kerr was male. The show said that Kerr is female. So, whatever works, right? I do like that there's 2 female members of the Forbidden 5, though. That is nice. By the way, Rox actually killed it, too. Loved Rox this season. Hi, Mommy. What you doing? Yeah, are you here to talk about Season 3 as well? My cat Momo is here. Hello. Yeah, just hanging out. Did Rox use her powers? I don't think she ever did. Thoughts on brute force? I think Noct used it a few times. I remember specifically just one time he used his power. It's basically what I expected it to be. He can just, break stuff, and he's strong, Jay's hair. Do we like Jay's hair? Yes or no? I'm gonna see if I can pause on Jay's hairstyle here. Maybe we could take a vote through the... Yeah, that's a fantastic picture. That pretty much summarizes Jay in a nutshell. Let's run a poll really quick. Do you like Jay's new hair? Kind of a controversial aspect of Jay's character. I'm gonna go with yee or nah. Do you like Jay's new hair? Let's start that poll. Feel free to vote. I personally don't think it's that bad. Would not want you to do this, and while you guys vote, we have a super chat from Holly. $1.99 from Holly. Thank you, Holly. Holly says, but the Jay air battles were peak. Oh my gosh, that is so true. I loved the battle between him and also thank you, Duck Boy, for the sub. I loved the battle between Jay versus Rogue and or not versus Rogue. Rogue versus Lord Ras and Arin on the jet. That's what I'm trying to say. Loved that battle. That might be one of my favorite battles from Dragon's Rising. Absolutely. But thank you, Holly, for the super chat. Yeah, I knew that the air battles were going to be awesome, and they definitely were. Let's see. How we doing on the poll? Ooh, we're kind of split 50-50. Do you like Jay's new hair? We are very much 50-50. Like I said, I don't think it's that terrible. I probably would have preferred a different hairstyle piece, Ain't no one leaving this party. Like a different ponytail piece. I like the ponytail, I just don't think it needed to be the same one as Unagami. Fire, thanks for the sub. A lot of other elements in there, but I'm just gonna say fire. Jay being he was kind of a hitman. He was kind of like a bounty hunter, kind of like a jack of all trades kind of thing. I liked that. Absolutely. I liked how Zeatrix showed up just for a quick cameo. Am I going to get any of the sets after watching the episodes? Not any that I don't already have. Obviously, I'm waiting for the summer stuff to come out because the summer stuff is going to be kind of expensive, and I really want to save money for the summer stuff. Did I like... No one leaving this party? Indy, thanks for the sub. Did I like rocks coming out of the water? Very specific question. I thought the animation was good. By the way, the water animation is just, oh my god, just beautiful this season. So many good bits of animation. Sinister Cannibal, thanks for the sub. Quite the name there. Sinister Cannibal? Hope that's just a screen name and not like your occupation. Where was Cole this season? Yeah, they kind of took away Cole. Cole went away to do whatever. You know, he hung out with Gio for like 10 episodes. Good for Cole, I guess. But yeah, he wasn't really in the season that much, you know? I did like at the end when he shows up and talks to Jay. Oh, by the way, if you look at that scene with Cole and... Hold on, I might be able to find a picture of it. Hold on. I might pull it up really quick. Bear with me. Keep voting in the poll if you haven't done so. I need to find the screenshot. Do I have it saved? I hope I do. I don't know if I do. Okay, I might need to go find it quick. Hang on 1 second, you guys. Give me 1 second. I gotta find this image. Where is the image? Okay, that's gonna have to be good enough. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, let me show you this. Hold on. Kind of taking a little longer than I want it to because I don't have the image on standby. I had to go find it. Okay, if you look at the scene, yes, the T-posing Cole. Yes, someone knows what I'm talking about. If you take a look at that scene with Cole and Jay, right, where they reunite at the end, there is a second Cole in the background T-posing. Nice little animation error there. Obviously, there's not supposed to be two Coles in this scene. Whoever animated this scene probably just had an extra Cole model in there for some reason. And thank you, Nicholas, for the sub. And just kind of had it in the background just by accident. So yes, in this scene, there are two Coles, one of which is just T-posing in the background. that is true. Nice little animation mistake there from Dragon's Rising Season 3. Yeah, definitely not like anything like, you know, story or context, you know, it's nothing major. It's just an animation mistake, but it certainly is funny. Yeah, I didn't notice it the first time either until I saw someone point it out over on Twitter that there were two Coles in that scene, and sure enough, there are. So, nice little error there. I'm going to end the Jay hair poll. Seems like we are split 50-50 on whether or not Jay's hair is good. So I guess that's interesting. Like I said, I thought it was, you know, Jay's hair's fine. I probably would have preferred a different ponytail, but it is what it is. Frack and Sora. Yeah, you guys want to talk about that quick? Frack apparently has a crush on Sora. I mean, we kind of knew that before the season started, thanks to the leaks from the French premiere, but yeah, that is a thing that occurred. I'm trying to remember the exact line here as Momo plays with a toy in the background. So if you hear something, you know, rattling, that's my cat Momo playing. Yeah, what does Frack say? He said, Zane's like, "Are you good, Momo?" Oh wait, hold on. I think she's got something that she doesn't have. Hold on. What are you playing with? What do you got? What actually do you have? Oh, yeah, no, you can't have that. It's a Lego. I don't know where she found it, but it's like a clear canister kind of thing. Yeah, she can't have Lego. Yeah, so Zane's like, we need to find the most attractive member of our team, and Frack is like, but Sora's right there. All right, bro, way to be subtle about it. Yeah, I don't really ship too much, but I do like their interactions that they have this season. J-Lo men, thanks for the sub. I do like their dynamic, Frack and Sora. They kind of like bicker back and forth, you know. I like that. I just don't know if I ship it per se, but I don't know. Maybe that'll happen at some point later on. Maybe they'll get together. I don't know. We've seen stranger couples and stranger ships in Ninjago, so I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things, you know? Yeah, I did see the thing about Netflix removing, like, a lot of Ninjago seasons. Which seasons were removed? I think it was the Oni trilogy and then some of the Wild Brain saga, if I remember right. Either way, I did see that. I will definitely do a video about that, probably tomorrow. Just had to get through some of the season 3 stuff first. But yes, Netflix did remove some seasons of Ninjago. Seabound got removed too. Is Big Zane permanent? I don't think so. I think he was just a Season 3 Part 1 thing. I feel like Zane will be back to normal once Part 2 starts. Can't imagine Big Zane being a permanent thing. Because if it was, you know, the future of... oh, by the way, there is a normal Zane minifigure in the Summer Wave, so, you know... Big Zane's definitely not permanent unless that figure is not canon. But can you imagine them releasing, like, non-canon Zane figures? Raul, thanks for the sub. Can you imagine them releasing, like, non-canon Zane figures, like, for the rest of time? Big Zane is definitely not, like, a permanent thing. Thoughts on the Forbidden Five's death? Yeah, I doubt that he, or they, actually died. I doubt that they're dead. They're probably just, you know, they got their souls removed. They'll probably be fine next season. Again, the Forbidden Five are still in a lot of summertime sets, so I feel like they will still be around. What I think they should make, though, in terms of a set, is like a Spectral Thunderfang. I think that would be sick. Of course, you could always modify the normal Thunderfang, but I think they need like a dedicated Ghost Thunderfang set. Maybe one day. Let's see. They weren't dead, they were sleeping. Yeah, they're just sleeping. How could Wu possibly be alive? Yeah, we know that Wu's still kicking, as confirmed by Morro. It's just one of those things, you know? Master Wu has been kind of mysterious this whole time for Dragons Rising, and I don't know. I feel like eventually we will find out what happened to him, but at least we know that he's still alive. Oh, by the way, what'd you guys think about Morro? Because Morro's back, and he is... just so cool. Wait, pause. Pause and go back. I need to see Morro. There he is. I loved that Morro was back. I loved that they understood his character. So good. I loved the Morro comeback. Yeah, there is some kind of, you know, did he die at the end when Thunderfang absorbed him? I'd say, you know, he was already dead, technically, because he's a ghost, right? But, I don't know, surely this isn't the last that we've seen of Morro. They got rid of the two fishes kissing. Fun fact, I have shown some of this season to Kat. She's seen the first 3 episodes. She said the same thing about Morro. She was like, yeah, Morro's cool, but you know, the fishes are gone. So, funny you should say that. Yeah, she's only seen the first 3 episodes. We watched a little bit yesterday. But yes, I love Morro. He's back. I think most of all, I loved that the writers understood Morro. They didn't just, you know, make him a villain. They actually kept his redemption, made it make sense. And if you guys notice at the end, there is a little yellow orb hanging out with Morro. I feel like Master Wu kind of, you know, met up with Morro again. So, I'm just saying. Where was Lloyd's race car and shirtless Zane? I did see that shirtless Zane. Also, thank you, Margot, for becoming a channel member. I did see that shirtless Zane was not a part of the season, and I saw that people were complaining about that a little bit. You know, it's one of those minifigures where it's like, you know, it makes sense that it's not canon, but it would have been awesome if it was, you know? And who knows, we still have, like, Season 3 Part 2. Shirtless Zane could always be in that part, like, you know, kind of how Master Lloyd was around for the Part 1 sets for Season 2, yet he only appeared in Season 2 Part 2. So, I don't know. We also have a super chat here, King of Lego 499.
Would not want you to do this, brother.
Thank you, the King of Lego. They say, what was your favorite episode? Do you like Jay and Dragons Rising? What was the worst episode? Also, should Lloyd and Morro meet? Quite a lot of questions there. To answer which one's my favorite and which one's my least favorite, there's a lot of good episodes. I liked the ending quite a bit, the finale, but episode 8 was pretty good too, I'd say. Least favorite, probably episode 1 or 2 of Season 3. I did like Jay, and should Lloyd and Morro meet? Absolutely. I think they definitely should. I think it'd be kind of a missed opportunity if, you know, we brought back Morro and he never met up with Lloyd. They were so close to actually meeting Morro. They were sitting right outside the Spectral lands, so, you know. But alas, they did not. So maybe in Part 2, but also thank you, the King of Lego. Explain the two fishes kissing. Okay, hold on. I need to pull up another image then. Hold on 1 second. Because, okay, it's kind of like a running joke on stream in case you guys don't know. I'll pull up a quick photo of Morro from Season 5. Because Morro's old design, the markings on his face look like two fishes kissing. Let me see if I can find a picture quick. Hold on, my pictures are loading. What the heck, pictures? You gotta load for me, buddy. Yes, we must teach people. Absolutely. Where's a good Morro picture? That's a good Morro picture. Sure. Perfect. Alright, kind of dropping some frames here. 1 second. Okay, so if you take a look at this image of Morro right here, right? This looks like a fish. This is the fish's fin. That's another fish with the fin. The fishes are kissing. So those are the lips. the fishes are kissing there. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. They got rid of that for Morro's new design. So, you know, people were kind of upset. Bring back the fishes kissing. I know, just absolutely amazing. Yeah, like I said, once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Would not want you to do this, brother.
Also, Adam, thank you for the $1.99. Adam says, I wonder why they chose to have Jay back with the ninja. I think it was probably about time to bring back Jay, like, to the team. Obviously, he's not back, like, fully, but, you know, he's back to an extent. Again, it was kind of just the natural progression of Jay's character. You know, it's time to bring him back to the team, but obviously he's not, like, fully restored yet. Just kind of felt like the right time, I would say. But thank you, Adam, for the super chat. Absolutely hated the lightning tides. Oh my god, me too. They still remind me of Canadians from South Park. They look exactly like them. But yeah, they were annoying. That's probably why episode 1 might be my least favorite of the entire season, because, like, they don't do anything. They're just there to be annoying. Like I said in my review, the most interesting thing about them is that they have access to Vengestone somehow. Where'd they get that? Who knows? They're just throwing them at people. That was funny, but, you know, the rest of it was just kind of annoying. Let's see. When will there be another cat stream? Probably, hopefully soon. I would like to have her come on and talk about what she thinks about Season 3, but that probably won't be for a while. Like I said, we only saw the first, or she only saw the first 3 episodes. What's your opinion on the emotion improvement for Zane in episode 4? I liked how emotional that battle was. I loved episode 4, or that scene, that episode, not battle. I loved how emotional episode 4 was, is what I'm trying to say. What with Pixel coming back, and, you know, their reunion was super sweet and all that. I liked the Pixel reunion, all things considered. Yeah, yeah, they played the same Zane Dies song that they play every time Zane dies. They played it when he sacrificed himself in Season 3. They played it when he got beat up and thrown off a cliff in Season 8. That was thanks to Mr. E. They brought back the Zane Dies music. They sure did. This is probably my least favorite of Zane's deaths. You could probably make a whole video ranking the Zane deaths, or like the near-death experiences of Zane. That could be a fun video to make. I think we know what number 1 is. Number 1 would definitely be from thanks ya boy for the sub. Number 1 is definitely the one from Rebooted. Why does Zane die so much? If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's easy to show damage being done to Zane because he's a robot. He's not human like these other characters. You can do a lot of things to Zane just because he's a robot that you can't do to the other characters. You can be violent with him. So I think that's why Zane's always chosen to be the one that gets, like, killed or beat up, whatever. It's because it's easy for them to get away with it. It's not happening to a human, you know? Lloyd's not being beat up and thrown off a cliff, left for dead. That's Zane. Obviously. Favorite returning character? Ooh, I gotta go with Morro. Pixel coming back is awesome too, but Morro's return, like, had me in tears. Pixel's didn't, but I liked how sweet it was, so. Coal neglect is crazy. Yeah, again, with the ninja, they do kind of cycle them out, like, every so often in Dragon's Rising, it seems. Like, Coal was gone for a lot of Season 1, he was around for a lot of Season 2, now he's gone again for a lot of Season 3. They don't really do that from what I've seen. They don't really do that for Lloyd, Kai, and Nia. Like, those three are always kind of like the mainstays, unless you count in Season 2, Part 2, when Kai was gone for, like, the majority of the season. And it kind of sounds like next season Zane might not, or for Part 2 of Season 3, Zane might not be around for that much, but I don't know. They kind of cycle him out, from what I've seen. Some characters have more importance than others, depending on, what season it is. King Pythor, thank you for the $1.99. And we also have another $1.99 from Adam. We will look at that one momentarily. King Pythor asks... King Pythor asks, did the Forbidden Five survive or are they dead? They gotta be alive, just because, again, they are in a lot of the Season 3 Part 2 sets. They're kind of like the main villains of those sets, and we still have yet to see Season 3 Part 2, so I doubt they are dead. They will probably be back, I will say. But thank you, King Pythor, for the $1.99. And also, Adam, thank you also for the $1.99. I feel like that subtle Oni mention in Season 3 is set up. I agree with you, Adam. They kind of name-dropped the Oni. I think it's in Episode 2. Yeah, that's the one with the Dragonians. Yeah, definitely. Definitely set up there for the Oni, I would say. Also, with that being said, also thank you, Shadow Duelist, for the $1 super chat. With the Oni, do you guys think they will be back? I saw some theories that since all of the souls that Thunderfang had, got put to rest or whatever, or went back to their original people, or whatever they did, that the Oni could come back, since he absorbed a lot of Oni souls. Don't know how... thank you, Lit, for the sub, by the way. I don't know how likely that is, though, but I feel like there is a chance that the Oni could come back. Absolutely. And also we have another super chat from... Stereo Python, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Oop, let me heart that. They say, if I could heart the comment, there we go. They say, loved how Fugitive came back, bro survived the merge and prison multiple times. Also, who's your favorite villain in this season? My favorite villain is definitely Drix of the Forbidden Five. Drix is just the best Forbidden Five member. I think a lot of us would agree with that. But yeah, Fugitive did come back, and I'm not the biggest fan of Fugitive's character, but it is true. He's kind of like the cockroach of Ninjago. He survives anything you throw at him, so... Yeah, I mean, he's better than Dareth. I'm glad that he had more screen time than Dareth, that's for sure. But thank you very much, Stereo Python, for the super chat. What about Noct? Noct is cool, but Drix is better. I like Noct a lot, but I like Drix more. Also, Blue Doggo donates $4.99. Thank you, Blue Doggo. They say, when the Zane Death soundtrack played, I was so scared. Question, did you believe Arin's parents were dead? I definitely predicted that before the season dropped, that maybe that's why Arin was crying in the trailer. Turns out it was kind of right, but then again, we find out, thanks to Jay, that his parents are actually not dead. I kind of figured it was just kind of a Lord Ras trick, but then again, it would be very brave of Ninjago to do that, to actually have Arin's parents be dead this whole time. Again, wouldn't really make much sense for them to be dead, but, it would be brave. I still think it is very brave just in general, the amount of time they spent pretty much letting us believe that Arin's parents were actually dead. But thank you very much, Blue Doggo, for the super chat. By the way, did you guys see the names on the headstones? If you translate it to English, because it's written in Ninjargon, if you translate it to English, it actually reveals Arin's last name. What is it? It's, hold on, let me type it in the chat quick. It's Arin, and then... that, I think. Yeah, because his last name is Devin, spelt backwards. Very subtle. Of course, Devin Mack, the voice of Arin. Very subtle there, Ninjago. I see what you did there. But yeah, Arin officially does have a last name. It's interesting. Yeah, Ninjago is a real language. Every letter of Ninjago translates to an English letter from the alphabet. Yep, now we do know his last name. Yeah, we also know his parents' names, too, finally. Not sure why it was so, like, such a mystery that we, couldn't find out their names, but now we finally do. Let's see. Also, Devin Mack does voice Thunderfang, and he did an excellent job at that. My goodness. Did I talk about Rogue yet? A little bit. We ran a poll asking people what they thought of his hairstyle, and it was 50-50, people that liked it versus people that didn't like it. So, other than that, yeah, we talked about, Rogue kind of being there in the background. At least he had more screen time than last couple of seasons. Thoughts on Lord Rass's master being the source dragon of strength? Yeah, I do plan on doing a video about that. I don't think his master is the source dragon of strength. Obviously, he has the dragon icon, which we found out the dragon icon, or the hammer was a dragon icon this whole time. So that's awesome. But it kind of sounds like Imperium held the strength dragon, or they tried to hold him along with the energy dragon, but they couldn't, if that makes sense. So they had to let him go. I don't know if the strength dragon is Lord Rass's master. Also, speaking of items, where did Lord Rass get that prismatic blade? He just kind of pulls it out of nowhere. He's like, Arin, I'm dying. Take this sword. You can see ghosts. And Arin's like, all right, sick. Thanks, bro. It acts as a boomerang, Arin. I've had this the whole time, but it's suddenly important. I thought that was a little weak, dare I say. People are talking about this love triangle. I don't think Arin has a crush on Sora or vice versa, so I don't think a love triangle exists. Yeah, he just had it. Yeah, he said he won it. It was like a trophy from a battle or something. But it's like, okay, how did he never... Okay, my issue with that is, where was it this whole time? And why does he pull it out now when the blade is suddenly important? Like, why didn't he use it, say, in Season 1 when battling, the ninja in Imperium? I don't know. It's obviously because the prismatic blades were not important to the plot then. But, you get what I'm saying, right? He just kind of pulls it out of nowhere. Yeah, pulled it out of his inventory. No kidding. It was very much exactly like that. Yeah, I did see Netflix removed a lot of the seasons. I will be making a video about that tomorrow. Those kind of questions are ridiculous. I mean, it's very Ninjago. Like, same with, now the ninja suddenly have their storm suits. That's classic, like, we need them to be in new costumes because we need to sell the sets that have the new costumes. Do we actually provide an in-universe reason as to why they have new suits? Nope, let's just have them. Like, they could have said, oh, wow, these new suits are great for protecting us from the storm or whatever. But, they kind of didn't. They kind of just have them. Nat Christmas, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Nat Christmas. They say, was surprised Cole did not search for Jay, since Jay is his best friend. I feel like he had more important stuff. He kind of did search for Jay, though, didn't he? Didn't he go to the Land of Lost Things because the Lost Friends... the Lost Friends would have a better chance of showing up there or something? Yeah, I think he was looking for Jay, just kind of like in his own way. He just wanted to hang out with Geo, though, let's be real. Let's see. Also, thank you, Nat Christmas, for the $5 super chat, and also thank you, Kevin, for the $2 super chat. Kevin says, Season 3 intro is a top 4 intro for the entire show. It was pretty good, I will say. The remix of the song was interesting. I'm still not a big fan of the song. It's mainly just the lyrics, but I liked the opening in terms of the visuals. That was cool. But thank you once again, who donated? Kevin, thank you for the super chat. What is Lee? No idea. It's a realm somewhere. That's pretty much all we know. Drix was aura farming. Yeah, but it worked. Drix is awesome. Do I ship Cole and Geo? Yes. Next question. Let's see. Totally forgot about Bonzel. Yeah, Bonzel shows up for like a quick cameo. Oh, what's the name of the Formling kid? It's either Spitz or Fritz. I get him mixed up. We saw his animal form finally, so that was cool. For like a split second. Forget his name. Hope we get Frack in the sets. He is in the summertime set wave. We know that for certain. Will they release more episodes on YouTube? Yeah, they're probably going to do like a weekly thing on the YouTube channel where they drop like one episode a week, it seems. Thought he was a penguin, not a bird. I know, right? Would have loved for him to be a penguin. Fritz is the Formling, thank you. Can we speak about Pixel? Sure. What did you guys think about Pixel coming back? I liked Pixel coming back. I thought Pixel was awesome. I love her new design. What did you guys think? As I readjust here in my chair. Take a sip of my beverage. Yep, Pixel was amazing. I agree. It was cool to see her back, and it's cool to see her battling. Loved the connection that she had with Zane, obviously. Kind of, it seems like there wasn't a lot of lost time between the two. They kind of like picked up right where they left off in terms of their relationship. And now we need to know, how is Pixel? Yeah, no, I liked Pixel. I like her little mask that she has too now. That was cool. Wasn't like the biggest fan of the combo mech, but the combo mech was pretty cool in the show, I will say. It's a lot better than the set. Zark got violated. Zark got violated like for everything that he tried to do. A lot of people are mad at Zark because he doesn't really do much. He's kind of like the weakling of the five, all things considered. What did I think of Drix's and Kerr's voice? I liked them both. I have no issues with either of them. They sound pretty much like I expected them to, except for Kerr, because I was going into this season thinking that Kerr was male, because that's what Doc Wyatt said. Turns out that's not true. So that one was kind of surprising, but still, I liked their voices. Yeah, Zark is the one with the hat that covers his face. He's the green one. Drix is the red one. Zark is the green one. Noct is the blue one. Rox is kind of like the orange one, I guess you could say. And then Kerr is the white one, I guess? The brown one? I don't know. What color would you say each of the five is? I think it's easier for Noct, Zark, and Drix. Yep, they do call Morro the departed soul. They don't mention him by name. Kind of weird, but I get it. What was the symbol on the rock Cole was looking at? I do plan on talking about that more in an upcoming video. I have like a whole list of things that I want to do, because I did what I always do. I watch the season, I jot down notes about what I want to talk about, ended up with a long list of things that I would like to talk about in video form. Some of them are definitely going to be merged together into like a single video, but got a lot of videos in the works. Is Rox the leader of the five? I think, didn't they say she co-leads with Noct? But she was definitely like taking the lead throughout a lot of this season. Yep, Jay invented the wings. Loved that. I feel like he also built his mech. Inventor Jay is back.
Would not want you to do this, brother.
Ooh, we also have a super chat from King Pythor asking a very good question. Who had the better fight, Zark versus Lloyd or Pixel versus Zark? First of all, thank you, King Pythor, for the super chat. I gotta go with Zark versus Lloyd, to be honest with you. I like how Lloyd battled Zark in that fight. Again, Lloyd using his brain, big brain strategy there, doing some awesome moves. I liked that battle just because of how Lloyd fought. And I did like at the end of that whole conflict with Zark and the ninja. I liked Sora making fun of Zark. Like I said in my review, very much reminded me of like a Ninjago movie scene. But thank you very much, King Pythor, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Let's see. In London, still can't watch it on Netflix. It's on US Netflix and Australian Netflix, I know for sure. Not sure if you have a VPN, but you could always connect to a VPN, hop onto one of those territories and watch it that way on Netflix officially. Otherwise, a lot of people have put them up on YouTube. No idea if they are still up on YouTube, but they might be. Dareth is funny in the 50 seconds we saw him. I don't know if I agree with that. Dareth being there kind of brought down the episode a little bit for me. That whole scene was just kind of just like awkward.
Would not want you to do this, brother.
Blue Doggo with the 199. Thank you, Blue Doggo. What was your favorite episode? Mine was Morro's. That one was pretty good. It's just a shame that it got like, it's the same episode as the whole Labo arcade thing, and that kind of brought it down a little bit for me. But I will say the finale was pretty good, and I also liked I also liked episode 8. I will say. But thank you, Blue Doggo, for the 199. We also have Emerald donating $5 super chat. Thank you, Emerald. They say, do you think Shockwave comes from the Source Dragon of Strength? Is there evidence for this? Or wait, no, there is evidence for this. Well, yeah, for sure. If you want to explain your theory, by all means. I think it's definitely possible. I mean, then again, might not be. The elemental powers and what Source Dragon they correspond to. In a lot of cases, it's kind of like unexpected. In some cases, it makes sense. With like certain elemental powers, but in some cases, it's kind of like a little, like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But Shockwave being strength, I think, would make sense. Let's see. Could be motion as well, yeah. Could be any of them. But thank you once again for the super chat. Who donated that one? That one was Emerald. Thank you for the super chat. Please talk about the Departed Realm and the Cursed Realm. Yeah, I love how they were fused now into the Spectral lands. That place is so awesome. I love that very, very much. I'm going to see if I can try to find a picture of this guy.
Would not want you to do this,
and we have another super chat. I will check that out momentarily. That's a good picture for the Spectral lands. Yeah, what did you guys think? I love the Spectral lands personally. I think, like, lore-wise, it makes a ton of sense. And also, I love that Morro's kind of like... I like how Morro is kind of like guiding the souls to the afterlife. We have a couple of super chats here. First of all, we have one from Nat Christmas. Thank you very much. They say, why could Ericor refuse to grant a wish, not a Nauticon to grant an earshot? Yeah, I think that's just a case of like Jin like rules, being a little bit different. Could also be a case of like them being different types of Jin, like different like levels in terms of their skill and magic, if that makes sense. No idea. Maybe there's an in-universe reason as to why it is, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. But thank you, Nat Christmas, for the super chat. And also King Pythor donated $1.99 and said, what do you think... what did you think when Rox threatened Zark? I liked that a lot because it just basically just reaffirms Rox as kind of like the ringleader of the 5. Again, I think officially Rox and Noct co-lead, but it might as well just be Rox leading the organization, man. Rox was calling the shots that whole time. But I liked that. Definitely put Zark in his place, that's for sure. Let's see. Roby being sick was kind of pointless. I think that it was just, so that Wildfire had something to do. I will say I wasn't a big fan of Wildfire's, like, journey to try to find the cure, basically being off-screen. A lot of that stuff was kind of off-screen. I was kind of expecting Wildfire to unlock her, like, true potential or something to save Roby, but she just kind of saves him, and that's about it. Wish Roby died. Same. That would have been awesome. Peak Ninjago season if that happened. But yeah, I agree with the idea that it wasn't like the strongest storyline ever. I agree with that. Straight up laughed when I heard Roby's scream of pain. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed that too, not gonna lie. Thoughts on Leaf Blade? Ooh, we have another super chat here that I will talk about momentarily. Hold that thought. Thoughts on Leaf Blade. So, first of all, like Thunderfang, Leaf Blade is named after a Pokemon attack, so I don't know what that is. But I really enjoyed Leaf Blade. I like how he was so insistent on just staying with Lord Ras and Arin, and Lord Ras was like super paranoid. Those dragons are gonna recognize me, Arin. They eventually do, which I love. But yeah, I liked Leaf Blade. And also we have a super chat from Emerald, $5 super chat. Thank you, Emerald. Shockwave was the only elemental power that Ras had available at the time. Strength was imprisoned because of it. That's a good idea. That's a good theory. I could totally see that being the case. Thank you, Emerald, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Very good theory, I will say. Let's see. Oh yeah, Fire Fang too. That's also true. They've been doing Pokemon moves for a while. Lots of stuff in the chat. Let's see. Do you think we will get a possession vibe from part 2? Absolutely, because again, we have like a ghost as like the main villain with Spectral Thunderfang here. By the way, I just realized we were still paused on that. But I think that Season 3 Part 1 was already giving possession vibes, kinda. Very much got that from the Spectral Lands episode. But I think Part 2 even more so, yeah, because it's all about like spectral ghost things. So, let's see. Do I think Jay will get his memories back? Absolutely. Not sure when, though. Yeah, how did you feel about Kai's Storm Mech Rider actually being wildfires? First of all, that set is on sale in a lot of places right now. It's on sale on Amazon and Target for me, in the US at least. Yeah, I mean,
would not want you to do this,
I am...
brother.
And we will talk about this super chat here in a second. I am not against Wildfire having a vehicle, obviously. I just wish this set was brave enough to call it Wildfire's vehicle. Instead, in terms of the set, it's like Kai's by design, but it's also Nia's kind of, sort of, like in terms of the storyline. But in the show, it's Wildfire's. I kind of just wish the set could have just called it Wildfire's mech. Because it doesn't sound like it's selling good regardless, so call it Wildfire's mech. Also, thank you, Nat Christmas, for the $5 super chat. They say, my theory on how Jay gets his memory back, Cole hits him in the head. Definitely would not be surprised if that happened. However, I feel like, Jay will probably get his memories back somehow. I think that's probably how he lost his memories too, I will say. He probably just bumped his head in the merge. Woke up without any memories. Thought to himself, wow, this administration thing sounds cool. Maybe I'll go try that. Yeah, no, I don't think Wildfire was even in that set, which is sad. Lego is still afraid of women and them being in main roles. Low-key true. Even in terms of the set, like I said, as far as the set itself is concerned, that vehicle is Nia's, and they couldn't even call it Nia's vehicle. I mean, sure, Kai uses it in the show for like 2 seconds, but it's mainly like Wildfire's thing. Kind of wish they could have just called it a day and gave her a vehicle, like, officially. As I take a sip of my beverage. Did I notice that Jay was never officially stated as Rogue in the show? Yeah, I did notice that. They totally could have done that, though. Zeatrix could have been like, oh, it's you, Rogue.
Want you to do this, brother.
Maybe part 2, or maybe they will just continue to call him Jay. Who knows? Maybe the sets did it because they were trying to keep his identity a mystery, but it was pretty obvious if you thought about it for more than like 3 seconds. Blue Doggo donates $4.99. Thank you very much. They say, this season definitely was darker, a darker one in more recent times. Characters actually died. Kerr's powers were absolutely devastating, and the ending. Yeah, I did notice a lot of people saying that Season 3 focused on death a lot. They weren't afraid to say, like, oh, this person died, this person's dead, death, destruction, all that good stuff. Any other show would be like, oh, my parents are unalived, Sora. But, no, Arin's like, my parents are dead. I did get a sense of, like, maturity from that, obviously. Just goes to show that Ninjago, despite being a kid's show, can have more mature moments like that and tackle more mature themes, like your parents being dead. But in terms of, Kerr's elemental power, loved. Loved all of that. Probably my favorite Forbidden 5 power, if I'm being honest. Like, Drix is my favorite member just overall, and I love his swarm power, but I think Kerr has the best powers. Then again, we haven't seen, like, Rox's power yet, so... But I feel like Kerr has the best power. Yeah, my parents are unalived. Let's see. What else do we got here? How much time do we got? 9 minutes, give or take. Because usually these streams are about an hour long. Let's see. Yeah, Morro's probably going to be back at the end of Season 3, Part 2, I will say. Do I think Sora will learn Spin Jitsu? Maybe. She tried to use it a little bit in Part 1 here. Wouldn't be surprised if she finally masters it in Part 2. Maybe Arin could teach her when they're on their little quest with the Tiger Man or whatever's going on there. Let's see. Yep, bunch of seasons got removed from Netflix. Yep, I will talk about that more in a video tomorrow. Thought she already learned it. She knows it kind of. She used like a proto spin jitsu in the tournament, kind of like what Arin was using in season 1. But she's not like fully mastered it yet. Yep, Tiger Man is Lord Rass. I call him Mr. Tiger Man on occasion because it's fun. How did you feel learning about how Sora and Arin met? It was so cute. Glad they made up. Yeah, I loved that that flashback scene with, like, you know, baby Sora, baby Arin, them meeting for the first time. I thought that was really touching, really sweet. Also, it's kind of weird how it's like the skeletons are like, yeah, there's one. Catch that kid. Put him in the truck. We gotta bring him to the mines. I thought that was a little, you know... Human trafficking apparently exists in the world of Ninjago. But no, in terms of the flashback, I loved all of that, you know? I thought it was really well done, really sweet, really wholesome. I love how Sora is, like, trying to learn what friendship is. So, yeah, I just liked all of that. It was really sweet. And then, of course, it's, like, cut back and forth with, you know, footage from the present where they're kind of, like, at odds on different sides. And can I just say, I love the scene when they're swinging around on the ropes and they finally connect and they say at the same time, thanks for saving me and I'm sorry. Oh my god. Loved that entire scene. That was so sweet. The best of friends. But yeah, I liked that flashback. Do I ship Sora and Frack? Not necessarily. Not really. I like them more as, like, kind of like rivals / friends. How do I feel about the evil cat that works with the skeleton? I liked the cat. I wasn't really a big fan of what the cat was doing, but it's a cat, so cats are cool. But yeah, that Sora and Arin scene was like... I cried 2 times this season, right? First time was when Morro came back and had his whole thing about, oh, I deeply regret betraying my master and all that good stuff. Second time I cried was the Sora and Arin swinging on the rope scene. Loved it. Think Frack's pickup line was pretty cute. I mean, he shot his shot, you know? He got rejected, but, you know, at least he tried. Can't blame him for trying, I guess. He tried his best. Let's see. Do I think the Forbidden 5 have their Shatter Spin and powers? Probably, yeah. I don't think they're, like, done. I feel like we will see them again. Zane's new form is cool. I agree. I do like Big Zane. However, I'm not the biggest fan of how Big Zane came to be. It kind of just happens off screen, you know? Raptin and his gang are, like, getting bossed around by Pixel, which, by the way, that was just amazing how Pixel stood up to Raptin. But then it's like, yeah, get these parts and get this and get that, and then in the next scene, Big Zane is there. Kind of wish they would have shown, like, that process, like him being built into Big Zane. Would have enjoyed that, but... it's whatever. Just one of those things I wish we actually saw. We need to talk about how Thunderfang could have taken Wu's soul. I mean, he kind of did, you know? We saw the little yellow glowy ball thing at the end next to Morro, and Thunderfang absorbed it, so... kind of did. Why did Kai and Nia get a wanted poster in episode 2, but it was never shown again? I'm sure it's probably going to be, like, used in something couple seasons down the line where it's like, uh-oh, the lightning tides are back for revenge. And, and I'm sure that will definitely weigh down whatever episode That is. Thought the yellow orb was Morro. No, Morro goes first, and then the yellow orb goes second, if I recall correctly.
Father would not want you to do this, brother.
We also have a couple of super chats here. First one comes from Holly. Thank you, Holly, for the $4.99. Holly asks, what did you think about Nia and Jay fighting together in the battle? I thought that was cool. I liked at the end how when Jay started using lightning or whatever, Nia's like, no way, that's Jay. I thought that was awesome. Not very subtle on Jay's end because Nia knows immediately, and at the end Nia's like, I know it's you, idiot, and he's like, no, there are multiple lightning guys running around this place. It's like, sure. But no, them fighting together was cool. And thank you once again, Holly, for the super chat. And King Pythor donates $1.99. Will rocks come in any of the new sets? Yes. Just one in the Summer Wave. Rocks is in the Rogue Mech Dragon set. So same one with Rogue and his dragon. Arin is also in that set. Rocks is exclusive to that set. Yep. So right now in terms of the sets, we have Noct, Drix, and Zark. The other two will be in the Summer Wave. And the other three that I just mentioned will also be in the Summer Wave, from what I remember. Pretty sure they're all in the Summer Wave, right? I know Zark and Drix are for sure. Maybe Noct isn't, but I swear Noct is in a summer set. I just can't remember. By the way, those sets are probably going to be revealed very soon, because they're supposed to come out in May, so... they're supposed to come out June, so we're probably going to get the... They come out in June, so we are going to get the reveal in May, is what I'm trying to say. Blue Doggo, $1.99. Do I think Big Zane is permanent? Thank you, Blue Doggo. Probably not. Big Zane was probably just for part 1. I feel like he's going to go back to normal for part 2, now that they have more time to restore Zane's normal body. And plus, like I said, we have a normal Zane minifigure in the Part 2 sets, so probably not permanent. But thank you, Blue Doggo, for the super chat. Noct is in the overpriced combo vehicle. Yeah, that is definitely an overpriced set. I mean, it was already sitting at $90, which is like, oh my god. But now with the price increases for a lot of the Summer Wave, it's getting jacked up to $100. Definitely not getting that guy now. I already wasn't planning on getting that set, but now it's even more so set in stone. And what sucks is that that's the one that comes with Frack, and I want the Frack minifigure, but probably going to have to bricklink that one. Yay! Do we still not know who Rass's master is? Again, there are theories that it's the Source Dragon of Strength, and I feel like there is a lot of evidence in Season 3 to suggest that. But at the same time, there's a lot that goes against it. I probably will be doing another video on Lord Rass's master very soon. Talking about, if there are any clues in Season 3. But no, not officially revealed yet. Yeah, definitely an expensive wave coming up. Probably going to end up skipping a lot of sets in the Summer Wave, that's for sure. I do like the Legends sets, though, for Ninjago Legends. Which, yeah, that's true, too. By the way, Season 3 Part 2 is not, the next thing that we are getting for Ninjago. The next thing is Ninjago Legends, whatever that series ends up being. It's coming out between Part 1 and Part 2. Rumor has it's going to be in June, so, we have that to look forward to. A lot of Ninjago content this year. Oh, and Shatterspin next month, the Shatterspin comic. Lots of stuff to talk about. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Lego has become a hobby that is kind of exclusively for adults, I want to say, just because of how expensive things are. Oh, by the way, here's a fun story for you guys. So I was at Target the other day. Haven't had a chance to tell you this yet. I was at Target the other day. Me and Kat we were hanging out in the Lego aisle because my Target right now has a lot of the Animal Crossing sets on clearance, and Kat is collecting Lego Animal Crossing, so we were looking at the sets that were on sale. This older guy comes in the aisle. He's looking at stuff too, and I'm like, oh, this is on sale, that's on sale. And he goes, yeah, even though they're on sale, they're way more expensive than they should be. And I was like, bro, don't even get me started on Lego prices. So we had a little little talk about how expensive Lego was, and it was kind of fun seeing like a real life person complain about stuff that we complain about online, because it's like it's not just an online thing, you know. People in real life are mad about Lego prices too. So I just thought that was fun. Little tangent. Otherwise, we are at an hour. If there's anything else that you guys would like to talk about last minute here regarding Season 3, we're going to wrap it up here soon. So what else should we talk about? Anything else? Why are you just talking to random people at Target? He talked to me first, and I was like, well, I'd be rude if I didn't engage with this man. So I'm like, sure. Let's talk about Lego prices at Target. Doesn't always happen at Target, but sometimes it does. Season 4 comes out 2026, right? That is the idea. That's what we are currently thinking about. Let's see. Will Harumi...
Ain't no one leaving this party?
Born in the wrong universe, thanks for the sub. Will Harumi or Garmadon be in part 2? Maybe. I don't know. I have no clue. I would like to see them both back at some point. Am I sad we didn't see Rox use her elemental power? You know, I think they're saving it. I feel like we will see it eventually. And when we do, it's going to be like this big thing, I imagine. So I reckon we'll see it eventually. Thoughts on Sora leaving with Arin? I get why she did it. I also, I saw a tweet. I forget who tweeted it. It was something like, Lloyd lost both of his kids in the divorce. And it's like, yeah, that is what happened. Both of his students are now gone. At least he still has Frack, you know. And Wildfire, you know. But Wildfire's kind of like Kai's student. Frack is probably going to be Cole's student. But, I don't know. Maybe Frack will still be Lloyd's student. I think it's going to be interesting in part 2, though, to see, like, that trio. The same trio that was, like, fighting each other in Season 1 way back when. It's going to be interesting to see them together. Oh, yeah, and Ryu. I always forget about Ryu. Mr. Dragon Man himself. Ow. Big stretch. Let's see. What else? Anything else that we should talk about last minute before we wrap up?
Leaving this party?
Don't know how to pronounce that name, but thank you for the sub, etc. I don't know your name. Don't know how to pronounce your name, but I appreciate the sub. Yeah, we can talk about that again. What do you think of all the Oni foreshadowing? I think it's possible that the Oni could come back in some way. Would not mind that at all. We learned a lot about the Oni in episode 2. By the way, what do you guys think about the Dragonians, like, before the corruption? I kind of like the Dragonians. They're, like, oddly wholesome. I'm not big on some of the design choices, but I do like the pre-corrupted Dragonians. I thought they were pretty wholesome.
Ain't no one leaving this party?
Brilliant Bricks, thanks for the sub. I liked how, like, sarcastic they were, too. I especially like the old lady Dragonians. Those two are my favorite. Think they're cool. Wish they spent more time on them. Yeah, maybe in part 2 we can get more. Would not mind. These are some side characters that I do not mind seeing more of, you know? Like all the stuff with the lightning tides, that could have been Dragonian screen time. Are there purple Dragonians? I mean, in Season 3, Part 1, they are, you know, obviously red. In Part 2, they're supposed to be, like, spectral somehow. So they're supposed to be, like, they're blue and red and all that good stuff. They're kind of like ghosts, which, by the way, I have no idea how that's going to work because the Dragonians are back to normal. So what are we going to do? Corrupt them again to make the spectral Dragonians? No clue. Devonians could be in future seasons. I would agree with that. There's like a leaked figure right now who kind of looks like a Devonian, but I don't know. I posted it over on my Blue Sky account if you guys would like to see that. I'm kind of just using my Blue Sky account to like post like leaks and stuff because it's like my most disposable social media. So kind of using my Blue Sky to post like leaked images and whatnot. Not sure if you guys have noticed. Anything else that we should talk about before we wrap up tonight's stream? Because we're kind of talking about a lot of the same questions. Which of course I don't mind, but Anything else that we should talk about that's like new before we wrap up? Yeah, I feel like Cole's going to be in part 2 a lot. I would say, yeah, we can talk about Cole a lot more, but he really didn't do anything. Does Kat like Arin in this season? Okay, so again, Kat's only seen the first 3 episodes as of right now. We haven't seen the whole thing, but I told her, I was like, you are probably going to have some thoughts about Arin after this season is over. I thought Arin was handled really well, but we will see what happens. I'm sure Kat will be on stream eventually to talk about what she thinks and what she thought. Yeah, I think we have an idea as to what she's going to say. I mean, I finished the season and texted her. I'm like, you are going to have some thoughts about Arin. Did she like Rogue so far? Again, we're only like 3 episodes in, so Rogue only has shown up like once in the background, and she's like, oh, hi, Jay. And I'm like, oh, you know the twist. Makes sense, though. She's heard me talk about this show like a lot, so she probably knows what's up. Let's see. Kind of want to do a poll really quick before we wrap up. But what should the poll be? I feel like we need to end on something strong, and I think a poll would be excellent. What should we? What do you guys think we should do for a quick poll? What should we vote on? I am open to suggestions. Could do like something with the Forbidden 5, you know. Oh yeah, let's talk about that really quick. The Dragon Spinjitzu in the First Realm. What was that all about? They just kind of like write it off as like, oh, it's a First Realm thing. What? What do you mean? I have no idea. Ooh, that's a good one. Was that guy Rock, or was that guy Bugs? Brilliant. Was that guy Bugs? Perfect. I'm gonna go with Yi. Oops. Yi or nah. Yeah, they're just like, it's different and that's it. Yeah, that's true. Dragon Spinjitzu kind of really didn't do anything. I mean, we were predicting before the season started, maybe Dragon Spinjitzu is like this weird combination of Rising Dragon and Spinjitzu. No, it's just it looks different when they're in the First Realm. Why does it look different when they're in the First Realm? I don't know. We got to sell those spinners, obviously. How are we going to do that if they don't do the Spinjitzu in the show? See, there's a lot of stuff about Ninjago where it's like, oh, this is obviously just done to sell the toys. But, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Do I like Rox without the mask? I mean, she kind of looks like what I expected her to look like. You know, she kind of has like the same tusk things that Noct has. You know, the big teeths. So, kind of expected. But was cool to see her without the mask, regardless. Let's see. How we doing on the bug poll? Was this guy Bugs? 93% of you guys said Yi. He was indeed Bugs. By the way, I loved the scene where Kai, like, blows a hole through Drix with, like, his fire, and Drix just kind of, like, collectively, like, you know, puts himself back together. Loved that. Again, Drix is my favorite member of the Forbidden Five. Drix is the GOAT. Let's end here. I agree with that. That is a very good thing to end on. Drix is the best. So, we are going to wrap it up there, everybody, for tonight's stream. We just had a quick live stream talking about some Season 3 spoilers and whatnot. Just a reminder, after this stream, spoilers will not be allowed in the live chat until May 1st. May 1st is the official spoiler ban lifting of stream, if any of that made sense. I can't speak English. Anyway, streaming schedule, this is what we're looking at, and let's wrap it up here, ladies and gents. Let's get some hugs and whatnot in the chat. Absolutely. Hugs all around. Awesome. And of course, yes, the steaks and the milks as well. Perfect. Actually ran out of milk today. Had to go get some at the store. But thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's stream. Like I said, we still have a bunch of Season 3 videos to make. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about in video form. I do have a post over on my community tab at the moment asking you guys what I should talk about in terms of Season 3. So if there's anything that you would like to hear me talk about, head on over there and leave a comment. I will be reading all of the comments here probably later tonight. So be sure to do that. Otherwise, thank you so much for swinging on by. If you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your day and have a good weekend, everyone. We will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.